Ladies and gentlemen, this is former WCW and TNA ring announcer David Penzer, also author of Sitting Ringside Volume 1, and you are watching and listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 318 of the TNA Across the Line podcast. I am Colling Jr. With me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. Dallas, we are coming out of No Surrender, where Kurt Angle, heading into the event, had all of the TNA championships in his possession. And upon exiting No Surrender, he no longer has all of them. Instead, he has one. And it is the most important one. He is still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, but he does not have the X Division, nor does he have the TNA Tag Team Championships, which we'll get into here in a moment. Dallas, how are we feeling about coming out of No Surrender?
Well, as we'll get into, it was not a bad show. And I think the most exciting part of it is that Kurt Angle doesn't have all the titles anymore, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'll say specifically for the X Division. Tag Team, we'll have to see how that one plays out a little bit more. But I'm definitely excited about the X Division coming out of this. Maybe we can get back to our X Division roots, have some killer matches on Impact, and opening up pay-per-views and stuff like that. And it's going to be interesting to see, as we head toward Bound for Glory, where some of these storylines that we've been following are going to head. I think we could I bet you we could guess where we are heading for Bound for Glory before we even start this episode. At least most of the card.
You really think so?
I feel pretty good about some of it.
Well, what do you think? I mean, obviously Kurt and Sting. It's
got to be Kurt and Sting. I mean, that we set up that angle real good right in the beginning of the show. Right. It's got to be Abyss and the New Monster, who pulled them under the ring at the end of the show. I have this weird feeling we're going to get both Black Reign and Chris Harris and James Storm and Rhino again.
I think Rhino and Storm for sure.
I just feel like the way that match with Harris and Black Reign went, I just feel like it's not the end of it, unless they throw someone else in it or something like that, maybe. But Rhino and Storm need like one more match. Wrap it up. Have it be like either like a bull rope style match or something. They keep brawling everywhere. False count anywhere. Something like that. End the feud. Move on.
Put him in a cage.
Put him in a cage. There we go. Can't escape a cage.
Right.
Tag team titles. I mean, we know who the number one contender is for that. It's Styles and Tomko, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
they won the
they won the gauntlet. So I mean, theoretically, they should be the ones fighting Team Pacman at Bound for Glory, unless they do it sooner. Now, a very important part of this, which we will discuss as we kind of continue in this episode, but we have 3 episodes of Impact, and then we go 2 hours. They announced that at No Surrender officially. If you're going 2 hours, there's going to be some big stuff on that show. I feel like they have to. So, any of this could really happen there as well. Go ahead. We can talk more feuds as we kind of continue on, but
well, I would. I was just gonna say I would think that Christian and Samoa Joe would be Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I could definitely see that again. The problem is, like, I feel like if you look at the No Surrender card, I feel like it's It's almost that card again for Glory. Because like
Steiner's
Kaz and
in Team
Rude,
3D.
Steiner's in Team 3D. That's given. I mean that's definitely happened. I think Kaz finally gets the love of Tracy Brooks, maybe, in Bound for Glory.
Well, I feel like that would be a stipulation where it's like Kaz's career versus Tracy's manager service, like whatever, the contract with Rude.
It could be something like that. I feel like that's about to happen, and that could also theoretically be the first 2 hour show. I could see that being a thing for that even.
Right.
So I kind of think that's like some of the major stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Lethal defends in like a frickin' 6-man or a 10-man gauntlet against like a ton of X Division guys or something like that. But
well, I feel like he would do. I feel like the X Division title is just destined for like a 4-man Ultimate X.
I mean, I wish I would say I'd hate that idea.
That's what that feels like. I could see back to what we were just talking about before, Rhino, Storm, Rain, and Harris all in like a Monsters Ball. Because it's all kind of like the Storm and Harris is like interchangeable, and then you have Rhino. I mean, you could easily set something up for Rhino and Rain to make it all tie in together.
I like that a lot. I also like the idea that we're doing that we would be doing a Monsters Ball that doesn't involve Abyss.
Right.
Because I feel, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. To this point, I don't think that's happened.
Well, he was in the first one, and he was in Bound for Glory 05. There wasn't. Oh wait, there was one at the 06 one where it was him, Raven, and Runt.
Yep. I'm googling it. I'm doing live research.
I don't think there's been.
What is our? Where are we?
Without him.
Okay, right here. No, he has been in all of them, and we've only seen 5 until this point. And the last one, as you just noted, was at the last Bound for Glory. So, well, okay, hold on. There's been 5, but 2 of them were house shows.
We've seen 3.
So we've only seen 3. For how we're really pushing this, like the Ultimate X stipulation, only 3 Monsters Ball matches is not too bad.
No, I'm surprised they haven't killed that stipulation. I mean, like they kind of did that with Ultimate X. Although I feel like we haven't seen Ultimate X in a decent amount of time.
That's a great point. So let's see. List of Ultimate X matches.
Because there was a stretch where we were seeing Ultimate X almost every 4 weeks.
Okay, so we are in late 07. Okay, so we have not seen one since July, which was that very large Ultimate X. And
July
that was
this year?
Yeah, Victory Road. It was the one that was like extra tall. That you could tell was it was kind of almost like the scaffolding for the Elevation X.
Right.
And
right, I remember that now.
Just for your reference, that is the 12th Ultimate X.
Right. And that debuted in the summer of 03?
Yeah, August 20th, 2003, at the 59th weekly pay-per-view was the first Ultimate X.
So we're averaging roughly 3 a year. Almost 3 a year.
Yeah.
Well, 3 a year since the introduction of it, not the span of the promotion. So yeah, about 3. 4.
Yeah. I mean, pretty damn close. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to kind of see how they build out those stipulations. So I'm curious to see how that will develop as we kind of move forward, because I do like that idea too that you just had.
Yeah.
But we will. Time will tell as we move closer to Bound for Glory. But before all of that, we got some recapping to do, Bob, about No Surrender.
Woohoo!
It was a blast. I had a lot of fun. If I remember correctly, we both gave it a thumbs up. I think Bob might have said it was a slight thumbs up, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well, I certainly enjoyed it more than Hard Justice.
Yeah, it wasn't hard to do that.
Yeah. So I think I was more of I was like leaning upward.
Right. So, in the Observer newsletter, what do you think the readers thought of it? Did they give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle?
I'm gonna say thumbs down.
Thumbs down? Really? Okay. Well, you're wrong. It's thumbs up. Now, would you like to guess the percentage that it was thumbs down? Since you said thumbs down.
I feel like every time you do this, it's usually an extreme one way or the other. So I'm gonna say 0%.
Yeah, it was 0% thumbs down. 8% or 6 votes in the middle, and 92%, or in this case 69 votes, were thumbs up. So
That's a low response, though.
Low response. We will get to that, of course, but the majority who did respond,
62 and 9, so 71 people.
Yeah, which as a reference point, if I'm doing math extremely fast in my head, there's about 127 who voted for hard justice. So, yeah. But there's quite a small number as well for Victory Road. Even, I mean, once again, hold on, fast math, 30, 48 ish.
Victory Road.
Yeah.
Wow. So no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, and Dave, I think, usually uses that response to estimate like a buy rate, like, oh, it's probably going to be higher or lower.
Yeah, that's correct, and we will literally be reading that here pretty soon. So,
okay.
So yeah, let's get into the Observer newsletter. First, we're going to talk a little bit. I'm just reading from the top down. This is from the September 17th, 2007 Observer newsletter. We're going to talk a little bit about the 2-hour announcement first. I cut quite a bit out of this just because I feel like we're just going to keep talking about it. And you know what? They're going 2 hours. Who cares? And then after, we will compare the star ratings that Dave Meltzer gives all of the matches at No Surrender to what me and Bob were giving it while we were watching it live. Mm-hmm. So he starts off with, after 5 years, TNA finally got to the next to last step of what had been a long-time goal. Once it became apparent that the business model of weekly $9.95 pay-per-view shows with no television didn't work, the goal was to recreate the Monday Night Wars and be in the WCW position, but with far less stupid spending and hopefully far less stupid booking. And they do spend less. So TNA and Spike TV announced a 2-year extension on their deal that would go through the fall of 2009. Very convenient, if I do say so myself.
Interesting.
Very interesting timing that they would do that. And in doing so, this made the 2-hour time slot from 9 to 11 p.m. official. In its press release announcing the deal, TNA bragged about its audience increasing 18% over the last year, but that's more due to a 9 p.m. time slot instead of an 11 p.m. slot, and bragging that it was the only national cable wrestling show that saw an increase this past year. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, but they're like he's noting there, they're keeping out some level of context about the shift in the time where more people are going to.
Well, of course you are. You got to make it sound good.
Although the switch, I mean, the ratings haven't been drastically different.
No, not really, but maybe that is just that subtle bit. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like usually when it was like, when they were at the 11 o'clock, we would get, a 0.8, 0.9, whatever. And now we'll get a 0.9, a 1, maybe a 1.1 sometimes. So it's not like they went from a 0.9 to a 1.5, which I think they thought they were going to do.
They definitely thought that. Definitely.
And that just hasn't happened.
Right. Now, we were sort of beating around the bush here about, well, if they got to do something big on this debut of this 2 hours. Now, Dave thinks that the emphasis would be to sign one of the major few free agent stars to debut on that show on October 4th. With the most obvious push, apparently, I wouldn't have thought this was obvious at the time, but I guess I didn't know the free agent roster. But that would be apparently Booker T at this time. And Dave notes, if he is contractually available. So it must be a very fresh release or he is about to leave. I don't know the dates, but
I believe it was his last, at least televised appearance, because I think I looked this up fairly recently. For my written reviews that I'm doing in 2008, is SummerSlam, the night after SummerSlam.
Well, I would say that's pretty good compared to like Team 3D, who were off for over a year.
Right. Well, and that would, I mean, I thought you were going to say Jericho or Lesnar or somebody else, but I mean, if Booker's coming fresh off, well, yeah, I'm sure, but Booker's coming fresh off of WWE TV. I mean, that seems to be the TNA playbook. He's like, oh, this guy just got. I mean, that kind of happened with Christian, right? I mean,
Christian was a good one.
He was gone, and he was in there by November.
Kurt was pretty similar too. He pretty much came in right away.
Kurt was what was the his vignette thing was on No Surrender.
No Surrender, yeah.
So his TV, I mean, he had probably been off WBTV for a couple of months.
Oh, a couple? Okay. I mean, that's not too bad though.
No, I mean, because like he wasn't on SummerSlam. I know that. Kurt wasn't. He was gone before that. I think he was gone by like July.
Okay.
So he probably had a couple of months off. But I mean, Booker, if he's on October 4th, that's like a month and a half that he's not.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Stream.
Yeah. Well, so that's the most obvious push. Could be him. As Bob was already teasing, it could be Chris Jericho, who apparently at this time is entertaining offers from both sides, or Rob Van Dam, which we've heard recently he kind of is out of the wrestling world at this time right now. He's taking a break. Now, he does note Bill Goldberg has mentally come to grips that he's almost 41 and a retired pro wrestler and hasn't expressed any interest. And apparently there was an interview with Goldberg, and he kind of discusses this, right? He says he doesn't foresee himself ever stepping back into a wrestling ring. Yeah, really funny in hindsight, isn't it?
I think it's hilarious that he's 41 in 2007. He's just like, I think it's over.
I'm a retired pro wrestler.
That's hilarious. He ain't coming back for TNA and 900 fans in an Impact Zone, I'll tell you that.
Well, do you think that Bill Goldberg is one of the people in wrestling to take the least amount of bumps in their entire career?
Oh, that's a good question.
How beat up is he really at 41 that he can't wrestle?
That's a very good question.
I'm just saying. You don't see Bill Goldberg take very many bumps.
A lot of his bumps are self-inflicted. So like when he punched a limo window with his forearm, that was self-inflicted. When he gives himself a concussion by hitting the locker room door with his head and then has the worst match imaginable with The Undertaker. Is that what happened?
I could be. I'm pretty sure that was all this. If it's not, it's a different match, but it still sucked. Like it's all the same time. He fucking bangs his head on the thing because he stops. Because he stops doing it after whenever that happened.
Sure, that makes sense. That's a very, I've never thought about that because his whole career. I mean, a lot of his career was like, oh, I'm just gonna do the spear and jackhammer and call it a day. So he wasn't really, I guess, taking the brunt of it. I mean, sure, he's taken a couple of power bombs from Nash and Sid. At this point, that would have been 8 years ago. Which is kind of weird to think about, like 1999, 2007. Like if you say that without even telling me, I would have thought, oh, that's 15 years ago. But it's not. It's only 8.
I'm going to confirm that I am correct. He does, in fact, give himself a concussion before the match with Undertaker, and then he has another one when he hits his head against the ring post in the match.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I think you're onto something where he might be a guy that took the least amount of bumps. The only other guy that comes to mind that may have taken lesser bumps than him is Giant Gonzalez.
Okay. I mean, okay, fair.
I really don't. I don't know. I don't know if he ever really took a bump against the Undertaker. Maybe the flying clothesline he took off the top rope. I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the later stuff he probably did a little bit more, but in general, over his entire career, in ring active.
Certainly, I don't mean to cut you off, but certainly, like in the WCW landscape, which is like if you're looking at it just from before, like for this time, obviously that's really what we're going off. I mean, yeah, he had WWE there for a year, but I would think, I mean, really, his WCW stuff, there isn't.
What did he do? Take a couple jackknife power bombs from Kevin Nash, maybe?
For sure. I mean, Scott Steiner probably would suplex him a couple times.
He'd suplex him.
You know, like the belly to belly suplexes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and he's not taking a big, like a.
It's
big
just
bump,
funny. It's just funny to be like, well, he took a suplex today.
Well, yeah.
The overhead ones, though, okay. Yeah, I was thinking regular ones at first. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm thinking like an overhead. Yeah, like an overhead.
Well,
I don't know. That's very interesting. You know, if I was like hyper focused on this, I would go ahead and like pop in my WCW collection and literally watch every Goldberg match and then count a significant bump.
The problem
which would be like a back bump, right?
I would say yes. I mean,
okay.
The thing is that you could probably do that. I mean, if you okay.
Oh, I could for sure.
I mean, this is hilarious. This is my new test for you. I want you to do this because if you go on his cage match, he has a total of 383 matches.
Some wrestlers would do that in a year.
Bob, you could literally do this for an article for wrestling recaps. There's a couple dark matches you probably will miss, so there's even less actually.
Well, yeah.
I just found 2 dark matches.
So okay, if we're talking about televised, he started. We're going down a rabbit hole here. So in September of '97,
and there's house shows. Oh my god.
Yeah, but we're not counting those. So
no, well I know we can't.
Right. So September of '97. There's nitros, whatever. So let's say from September to December, he would have had with pay-per-views 15 matches televised, maybe 20.
Are you talking? Which year did you say?
97. Televised. So like that would be like worldwide Saturday night nitro pay-per-views. I would say between 15 to 20 because he's not going to be on every. He might be on every nitro, but he wouldn't. 20 to 25.
I'm trying to count. I already lost count. There is a lot of like mixed house shows in here, so it turned me off. But I would not be surprised if
I know a way to do this.
He has a total of roughly. There's roughly like 82 matches, I think. Oh no, that's even some of 98 in there. I didn't even realize that.
So 97, he has 20 that are televised. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we're at 15. So we have 13 televised matches in 97. That's include. So that would be your nitros, Saturday night main event. He actually had a main event match, which is weird. In worldwide. Only one of those matches, according to Cage Match here in 1997. One match went over 3 minutes. I lied. Two matches went over 3 minutes.
That's crazy.
So now there's substantially more here in 98. A lot of house shows and whatever. But yeah, I think not this is relevant to us. But yeah, I think I would say that he's certainly at this point, I don't think his body is nearly as beat up from wrestling as it would have been from his football days.
Really. Okay. That's a good point though. Kind of forget about that. But I think it still kind of stands.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Anyways, so he does. I mean, we don't need to he said he'd love to wrestle in Japan because his family's never seen him wrestle. As we know, that's not ever going to be the case. Not that he's not going to wrestle in Japan, but his family's going to see him wrestle. Anyways, what I'm getting at with this interview that's in line here, anyways,
his family never. How he has a kid at this point, a son?
Yes, he says my family has never seen me wrestle. My wife and my little boy. So he said he's never going to don those tights and those boots again. And this is in 2007, and we know he comes back for far too much. So,
yeah.
So he goes on to say, though, that TNA totally blows, man. I don't think they have a clue as to what people want to see. I think they've got a very clouded vision. Right after the Benoit death, WWE and TNA had an opportunity to make it right. They had an opportunity. They had everyone's attention, and what does TNA do? They go out and sign Pacman Jones. That, in itself, in a nutshell, describes TNA's mentality. That is a viable option for Goldberg? Absolutely not. Those guys don't deserve to have me on their program. Can't really disagree with the last part, but regardless, he ain't coming in.
Well, right. Well, here's the thing too. Okay, if I'm TNA, I wouldn't want him there anyway because he's gonna go in. He would demolish the whole roster because that's the gimmick, is that he just goes undefeated for months and months and months. Your ultimate goal line would be him and Samoa Joe.
And then he'd beat Samoa Joe, and then we'd be sad about it.
And that would be the problem, is that they would not, I don't think they would put Joe over.
It's a mixed bag because they wouldn't and he wouldn't, so.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if that's how he truly feels that TNA doesn't deserve him, then he's not gonna do the job for a TNA guy.
Right. The other guy who is also a free agent is or free-ish agent, I guess, is Brock Lesnar, who hasn't shown any passion for pro wrestling in 3 years, and he's not the person who just showing up and collecting a paycheck to help a company in the long run. He says if the old Brock Lesnar were available, of course that would be a positive. The home run, though, out of all of these names, Bob, the home run would be if they could get Hulk Hogan. That's what he says. He says that Hogan would help them, at first, more than anyone on pay-per-view. Of course, Hogan doesn't work cheap, and he's very limited as what he can do without his body completely breaking down. In addition, Hogan is a dish best served rare, to come in for 2 shows a year and then get out. So, and then he kind of goes into how they couldn't even keep Sting special and that kind of stuff. So, needless to say, who knows? It sounds like he might be right, though, to kick that off. Is if Booker T is about to be fresh off, if they want to do a big debut, that could be the one.
Could you imagine a time where Hulk Hogan is on TNA television every week, multiple segments a week?
No, I really couldn't. And especially
I don't think that would ever happen.
It will never happen. He would never bring any friends. He would never bring he would never bring his manager and his best friend, Eric Bischoff.
Let's just say this, okay? In no universe would Hulk Hogan bring in, let's say, the Nasty Boys to have a dream tag team match against Team 3D, and the Nasty Boys win. That would never in a million years transpire. You know, there would never be an instance where, let's say, Christopher Daniels is fresh off of a world title, challenging against, Joe and AJ. In no right mind would, let's say, a month and a half later, Val Venus shows up in Impact and he beats Christopher Daniels cleanly on television. That would never happen. Under the Hulk Hogan watch.
I don't think
in any wrestling.
No, I don't think it would. And if it did, I just couldn't live with myself, and I definitely could not do a podcast about it. So
there's no way. Like, if that were to happen, our fandom would be, for TNA, would be like over. You know, like how could I sit there and watch?
Yeah.
How could I watch that? It would be like watching the first Impact, and two major stars in TNA are having a great match, and they decide we're going to recreate the Montreal Screwjob for the 17th time.
Mm-hmm. And like, if they ever like took away the 6-sided ring and like the cool tunnels and like, you know, made it not feel like TNA, that would just be the cherry on top.
You know, Hogan feels like the type of guy that would like use his WWE Hall of Fame ring as some kind of superpower, and like Abyss would be like, I need that. I'm a Hulkamaniac, Hogan, yeah. And like he would wear like red and yellow on his gear, like you know, he'd his mask and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That would never happen. Orlando Jordan would never show up and squirt Elmer glue all over his body with caution tape under the Hulk Hogan watch. But that was good.
That's probably the least offensive that happened. Or if it did happen, that would be the least offensive thing.
Hypothetically, right. I mean, that would be probably good and entertaining.
Hypothetically, that would not be too bad above part of the show. Okay. Let's talk about No Surrender a little bit.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
In 2007, not 2010.
Not
definitely
hypothetical
not
to it. Hypothetical to 2010.
Yeah. Okay, so the announcement of the 2-hour slot, which starts on October 4th, with the first two shows being taped on October 1st and October 2nd. Remember, we're doing dual tapings now for this. So that's actually going to, I didn't think about that. That's going to be a fresh crowd both times. So that's going to be kind of nice.
It's back-to-back days?
Back-to-back days, but not right after each other. So that's pretty cool.
No, that's good. A 2-hour, if you were to do basically a 4-hour taping at the same, that'd be tough.
Well, you got to think, it's probably a 3-hour-ish taping.
Well, yeah.
Regardless.
Double the time, yeah.
I mean, think right now, the shows that we're about to start watching today, it's 3 shows that they did right in a row. Like, here you go. I mean, that's probably about 3 hours. And usually by the last one, you start to feel it. So this should be fun to see. But yeah, so we already noted, though, they did make this announcement at the September 9th No Surrender pay-per-view. The show, built around 3 Kurt Angle matches, was TNA's best pay-per-view show in a while, Dave says. It was a night of extremes, with some things extremely good and others extremely bad. Now, they seem to be an emphasis on giving people finishes without outside interference. After an opening match that was a joke, since one of the members of the winning team isn't allowed to be touched by anyone, there was only one non-clean finish, that being in the Samoa Joe versus Christian Cage match, and that at least told a story of a crazed, out-of-control Joe, mad because Christian injured one of his relatives, wanting to destroy Christian and everyone who stood in his way. However, he had second thoughts when Matt Morgan showed up, with the idea of building for something for them that way down the line. So, we're just teasing that as an eventual thing. Although it seemed pretty clear that they're going to do that sooner rather than later to me.
You don't think that way down the line would be Joe and Morgan at Bound for Glory?
I hope it's past that.
It has to be, right? I mean, that'd be...
I mean, unless they go the route where it's like Joe is crazed and he's defiant against authority and like essentially Jim Cornette 6 Matt Morgan on him, and like I'm not saying I want to see a Matt Morgan Samoa Joe match right now, but I could see how they could work that into the storyline and work it.
I just don't know what you would do with Christian at that point.
Oh, nothing. You'd have to do something else.
Yeah, you have to. Like,
he could fight Black Rain and no, okay.
Okay.
Where was I? So the show was built around Kurt Angle defending these 3 titles, right? So Angle first lost the tag team titles, teaming with Sting against Pacman Jones and Ron Killings, when Karen Angle lied to her husband that Sting attacked her, causing Angle to turn on Sting and leave him for dead. Jones, who refused to tag in, then waltzed in and covered Sting. It was a nothing match, but since they essentially advertised someone who couldn't do the match, they were backed into the corner. I thought it was clever how they got around it, but ultimately, it was a terribly deceptive advertising. Luckily, nobody bought the show to see Jones, so nobody really cared anyways. Now, in the second match, Kurt Angle lost the X Division title clean in the middle to Jay Lethal in what they immediately pushed as the biggest upset in TNA history. It was an excellent match with the crowd going crazy because Lethal had gotten so many near falls, yet nobody thought he had a prayer to win the match. And then finally, in the third match, Kurt Angle worked on Abyss's left ankle the entire match and then beat him clean. After taking off his boot, using an ankle lock to keep the TNA title, it was a refreshing change from the usual TNA title match that features referee bumps, missing finishes, lots of interference, and brawls all over the building. It was tough because the crowd was starting to drag when seeing Angle come out for the third time, but they worked a match that made sense and even rarer, where the working of a body part directly played into the finish. Angle got a clean win to end the show. So he mentions how Lethal, theoretically, just made his career, essentially by beating Kurt Angle, although that completely depends on how it's followed up. He brings up the fact that, like Hurricane defeating The Rock on TV, and then a few weeks later, Hurricane was just regular job guy still. So what should have been a career-making moment actually was just a wasted job by a star for no reason. They kind of made up the win useless because later in the show, Lethal came out with Sanjay Dutt and Petey Williams to calm Samoa Joe down, and Joe dispatched all three who came off as prelim guys. There's nothing wrong with that, since that's what they are. But if that's what they are, having Angle lose to Lethal, and an hour later, Lethal is still positioned as a prelim guy, it means they sacrificed a star to put over someone for the momentary pop. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I see where he's coming from.
That's a bit of a stretch that he comes out to calm down Joe, so he still looks like a scrub.
Well, it's because Joe then tossed him out and pushed him aside.
It's Joe. It's Samoa Joe.
Context. I agree. Now, they did drew the usual full house in Orlando. 900 fans in the Universal Studios. The crowd was hot throughout, doing everything to even make the few bad matches seem like they were exciting. The downside is that as hot as the crowd was, and even though more people are watching the TV now on a consistent basis than ever before, all indications are that this was another bad pay-per-view number. The show opened with a video and a catchphrase that nobody else does pay-per-view like TNA, which may have been true at one point in time, but certainly hasn't been as of late. And because of it, a lot of people who have jumped off missed a very good show. Our response, in the Observer newsletter, of course, volume to the show indicated a bad buy rate, as we were down 36% from the last month's show with Kurt Angle vs. Samoa Joe for all the belts, and that did below what they were averaging figures for the promotion a year ago. More viewers than ever, less pay-per-view buys than ever. They should send a message, but somehow it doesn't. So it is kind of interesting when you think about that. Our TV ratings are getting better and stuff like that, but our pay-per-view buy rates are dropping.
Right, they're not doing anything to entice you to buy the product.
Right. You enjoy it just enough, but not enough to spend extra money.
Yeah. And I think that's why TNA forever is, and Jared has said, is like their drive is towards television.
Right. It's time to get into the matches. As we noted already, the first match on the show, Adam Pacman Jones and Ron Killings won the TNA Tag Team titles from Kurt Angle and Sting in 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Crazy short time for a pay-per-view match. Dave says not much to this. Sting did some arm drags with Killings. Jones kept refusing to tag in. Kurt Angle came down in a white dress. Sting had earlier in the show told her not to come to ringside and told her to leave. She shoved Sting and then slapped him in the face. Then she took a dive like she was some heel luchador who wasn't kicked low trying to get a cheap DQ. Kurt saw his wife on the ground. Sting said that he didn't do anything, but Karen said Sting hit her. Angle then ran in the ring, gave Sting the Olympic Slam. At this point, Jones tagged in, covered Sting. Dave Meltzer gives this match half a star, and he says just for Karen's dress, as the match itself was pretty much non-existent. So he gave that match half a star for Karen Angle's dress.
Karen Angle's dress. That's funny.
Me and Bob gave that match 1 star each.
Not for Karen's dress either.
It wasn't for Karen's dress. I didn't even put that into my thought for the rating.
I didn't either.
Great. Next up, we saw Rhino pin James Storm in 9 minutes 23 seconds. Rhino did one of those Russo interviews where where to make it a shoot, he uses his real name. He called himself Terry and said that Terry is an alcoholic, but he said that he was sober. Dave says, why did they make him an alcoholic in the first place, as he recovered in weeks and didn't do any skits showing of any signs of alcoholism? It's a great point. They brawled in the stands for 4 minutes. Storm came off the balcony with a dive and all this stuff. They eventually got into the ring. Rhino then gored Storm through a table and got the pin. After the match, Jackie Moore tried to put Rhino's face into beer, but he blocked it. Got Moore in the ring and gave her a mini gore. I don't know if I'd call it a mini gore, but the crowd was very hot for this match. He gives this one 3 1/4. I gave it 2.5, and Bob gave it 2. Next up, we saw backstage. Kurt Angle is furious. Dr. Kevin Nash told Angle that Sting never slapped Karen and that Karen lied. Kurt did not believe it. At this point, Sting attacked Kurt, was choking him against the lockers. Jim Cornette and Nash broke it up. Cornette kicked Karen out of the building and said if she didn't leave, then Kurt could go with her and forfeit all the remaining titles. So, there you go. And Dave makes a joke that he wondered if he got Inoki's permission for that, since he has the IWGP title. Imagine that. IWGP title up for grabs now. Oh, that's not a match. Sorry, I almost thought that was a match, and I forgot to say the rating. Next up, Robert Roode pinned Kaz in 13 minutes 47 seconds. The gimmick was that Ms. Brooks was out with Roode, but secretly rooting for Kaz. Eventually, Kaz did a face plant off the rope, but missed the leg drop off the top rope, and then Roode got the pin with the payoff, which was his fisherman suplex. He gives this match 3.5 stars. I gave it 3.5 as well, and Bob gave it 3. Then
I don't think she was secretly rooting for Kaz. It was pretty clear.
You mean like the biting her lip, like, oh.
Yeah, and I think, whenever he was doing something, she'd be like, yay, and when Roode would do something, she'd be like, I hate you.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't keeping a secret from us, that's for sure.
No. Not at all.
Backstage, we saw Jay Lethal cutting a promo with his Randy Savage voice about Ricky Steamboat, George Steele, Jake Roberts. Dr. Kevin Nash came out and told him that he made his career and that tonight he has to take a dive. He said that Angle needed to be fresh for his main event. So he's basically like, you gotta just do that for him. Well, guess what? The next match happened, and Jay Lethal then pinned Kurt Angle in 12 minutes, 18 seconds to win the X Division title. Dave said this was an excellent match. The story was that Lethal kept getting these near falls, and people got behind him as an underdog. But deep down, they exploded because they never believed that he had a chance to win this match. The finish saw Angle finally clamp on the ankle lock, but Lethal reversed it into a front rolling cradle and got the 3 count. The place exploded. The only negative is that they had some guys celebrate with Lethal and put it over as the biggest upset in TNA history, but cut away from the scene too fast, which hurt its overall impact. That, and by the end of the night, well, we already talked about how he thinks that it was just a waste because of how Lethal ended up being positioned, but whatever. He gives this match 3 3/4 stars. I gave it also 3 3/4 stars, and Bob gave it 3.5. Up next. Oh, and Bob, remind me after I go through this. I did not say what was voted on as the best, the worst, and the best and the worst matches from the Observer. I forgot to mention. Chance, right? Yeah, I'll say it after I finish the card, and then you already know them. They're in your head. So, next up, Chris Harris pinned Black Rain in 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Rain brought out a nasty-looking rat named Misty. He says that I'm sure that there's somebody getting back as someone, so they think that's a joke. Misty was in a rat cage. It was brought to the ring. She wasn't just out running around. Not much to the match, although Harris did do a big dive. He won clean with an inside cradle. After the match, Harris handcuffed Rain, who juiced by this point, to the corner, but but Rain kicked Harris low and got his own handcuff key and released himself. And then he got the rat out of his cage and put it on Harris's face. Rain then kissed the rat. People weren't into this match, but at least it was short. He gives this match 1 star. I also gave it 1 star, and Bob gave it half a star. Next up was that big 20-man, 10-team tag team gauntlet for the number 1 contendership. Tomko and AJ Styles won that in 25 minutes, 38 seconds. I think Bob thought this was maybe the longest match he's ever watched in his life.
It was very long.
Yeah. He notes that there was some pre-match funny stuff that happened with Christian, his pre-match pep talk. First, because he was putting over Tomko's IWGP Tag Team title belt that he always carries around. And Dave even notes, and this is a really great point, that the funny thing is, he says unless he's missed it, which I don't think he has, they've never once explained what it is or who his partner is. He just kind of has it. So it's just weird that he carries this belt around in his promos. But then Christian told Styles to go out there and win a championship. Just like your idol, referring to himself. Styles then said, but Barry Sanders never won a championship. So the match ended up being kind of like a Royal Rumble, except that there's 1-minute entrances, so they were very short. Eventually, the final 3 were Styles, Young, and Shelley. Styles and Shelley combined to throw out Eric Young at the 22-minute at the 1-second mark. This meant that Styles and Tomko had the match against the Motor City Machine Guns. Styles pinned Sabin with a rolling reverse cradle, holding the tights. Match was maybe slightly better than a typical Battle Royal, he says. He gives this match 2.25 stars. I gave it 2 stars, and Bob gave it 1. Next up, Christian Cage defeated Samoa Joe via disqualification in 14 minutes, 59 seconds. The idea was that Joe came in hot because of the angle that was on TV. That was when he attacked the family members and all that. The finish saw Joe put on a choke, but Christian made the ropes. Joe was refusing to break, so referee Rudy Charles pulled Joe off by the hair. This happened a second time when Joe threw down the ref. He used a Samoan drop and a muscle buster on Christian, but with no ref. Security started running in, but Joe was throwing them around quickly as they got in. Williams, Lethal, and Dutt came out to calm Joe down, but he got rid of all of them as well. He started choking Christian with a t-shirt and threw him over the top rope, hung him with the t-shirt, and then finally, Jim Cornette and Matt Morgan came out to calm him down. Joe and Morgan had a quick stare down, but I don't think people really saw it as such. Weak finish on paper, but it wasn't as weak as it reads. Strong match until the finish. He gives this match 3.5 stars. I gave it 3 stars, and so did Bob. So I'd like to point out, I thought it was pretty obvious that they were having a stare down. And I think you and me both were like, oh, they're definitely teasing a match. It seemed pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, the last match. The main event. Kurt Angle defeated Abyss to retain the TNA title in 19 minutes, 24 seconds. Pretty simple match, he says. Angle kept working on Abyss's left knee and ankle. Abyss would make some comebacks until Angle would cut him off and go right back to it. Angle ended up cutting off Abyss's boot and then pulling the boot off of his foot. He started attacking the ankle with the idea that with no boots, it has no support. He then used the ankle lock, in reality a move that is more dangerous with the boot on, but who would know? I don't know if I agree with that, but that's fine. Abyss actually tapped clean to the move after the match. This is the big thing that happened, I feel like, that Jim Mitchell was on the big screen and told Abyss that Judas Mesias was already there and was taking Abyss to hell. A hand came through a hole made in the ring and pulled a scared Abyss into the hole as the show went off the air. Good match, shockingly clean finish, and the post-match angle to set up a new program wasn't done at the expense of giving people a clean ending. It's a great point. He gives this match 3.5 stars. Me and Bob both gave it 2.5.
So the comment about the boot with the ankle lock, I'm thinking maybe you're able to have a better grip or something because
could be grip. Yeah. Or I guess maybe.
But I'm also.
Do you think with the boot on it, like since it's supposed to theoretically hold your ankle stiffer, that maybe it kind of torques your leg a little bit more with the boot on?
You could, but then I'm thinking without the boot, if he were to legitimately break his ankle, that's a lot of force because you're going just straight off of the foot.
That's a great point.
Although I know it's called the ankle lock and everything, but I don't think he technically has ever broken, even in storyline, anybody's ankle with it.
I don't know. Now I'm
Pretty
wondering.
sure he hasn't.
Huh. If not, that's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Before we finish talking about No Surrender here, as I just noted, I forgot to talk about the best match and the worst match. And since we just went through the whole show, we don't even have to make you guess. I think it's kind of more clear than oftentimes. The best match that got voted on was the X Division match, Kurt Angle versus Jay Lethal with 51 votes. In second place, believe it or not, this is actually probably more surprising. Bobby Roode and Kaz got 20 votes.
The best match?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
So,
Maybe Joe and Cage would have been number 2. Maybe.
I'm kind of surprised it's not. And just for talking sake, we definitely voted the X Division match as our best, and I guess Roode and Kaz is kind of the second one. Yeah, looking at the rating. So yeah, I think when you see it on paper, you're like, what? What do you mean? Right. So that's kind of funny. You were more tied with the Christian Joe one for that, just for the record. But
Right.
As far as the worst match, it was Chris Harris and Black Rain with 45 votes, and Sting and Angle versus Pacman Jones and Killings with 26 votes. Probably a little bit more clear there.
I would have guessed that too, for the record.
And there you go. Okay, I think, just a couple other notes here before we get into today's show. I'm just gonna double check. Oh yeah, okay. I got a couple good things. First is a quick ratings note. I'm just scrolling up to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, I'm not. There's actually not a ton of notes really in general here, but on the last episode of Impact from September 6th did a 1.02 rating and a 1.5 million viewers. The show did a 0.61 in males 18 to 34 and 0.75 in males 35 to 49. While the rating was average, it was one of the highest viewership levels in the history of the show. That was considered a huge success going up against the heavily publicized NFL season debut. So pretty solid rating for the Go Home show.
Well, here now let me see. Hang on a minute. Who they play? Like what the game was?
Oh, okay.
For 2007. So, is this going to be a pain? No, we're good. Okay, so that would have been the Colts against the Saints on September 6th, 2007.
Now,
the Colts winning that game 41-10.
Now, as not a football fan at all, that sounds like a game that if I was a football fan, I would not have watched, and I would have watched TNA instead.
Well, I mean, if you're not a football fan, I guess. As a football fan, I don't know if I necessarily would have either. Because we are coming off 2006 would have meant the Colts won the Super Bowl that year. And this had a Manning and Breeze showdown. It's a blowout. I probably would have tuned out by about the third quarter if I were to have watched it. Started at 8 o'clock. Third quarter probably wouldn't have started till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. Impact's at 9, so I probably would have missed at least half of Impact if I watched it. Yeah. I'm probably not tuning into it. If it was a Vikings game, obviously I'm watching it. I'd be pissed off about it.
Well, yeah, you got to see your team lose. You can't watch Impact.
Right. I mean, why wouldn't I do that? So.
Right. And I only know that because you post about it, or else I would not know that your team loses all the time.
Well, here's the thing about that. Here in 2025, I watched the Vikings on Monday Night Football against the Bears. Wasn't looking good for the first half. They came back and won.
Oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl, boys. Let's go.
That's how I feel.
Okay. Well, if they go to the Super Bowl, Bob, I will put some money on the Vikings for you.
Don't do that. You'll lose your money.
Okay, I got two notes, and we can get into the show. Remember Andrew Martin? How he was here for like 2 days?
Yeah, dude, he was so pumped.
Yeah, he was definitely pumped. Yeah, he got a pump in. Well, there's apparently a lot of reasons why they decided against using him further. Now, the neon sign aspect, which is a very odd way to say this, I feel like, was sort of part of it. But Scott Steiner is more of a neon sign. And I think they're just calling out the fact that,
Steroids.
yeah, they're using a lot of juice. He says, I think that the attitude is that it's all risk with him and no reward. He didn't impress anyone with his performance, which in the end is probably the key. The other aspect is that he wrote a pro-steroid column on his MySpace account right before coming in. So given his look and the existence of the column, the feeling was that the company couldn't do the, well, we had no idea denial if called before Congress, when the guy all but wrote that he was on the stuff. Plus, they were picking up a guy who WWE had just fired for that very reason. Even without Congress looking, it's possible they wouldn't have used him since he didn't get over, but I'm guessing he'd have gotten more chances. So, this was a victim of the business being scrutinized at this point and having so little common sense that during a period that you go on MySpace and try to explain why steroids should be allowed in wrestling, because it's not a competitive sport.
Dallas, this is all just really silly because the fact of the matter is that Kurt Angle is, and I mean, he's gone on to say he has a massive painkiller addiction, which is why he left or got fired, or whatever, by WWE, and now he's still doing it here in TNA. TNA can't sit there and be like, we don't know about this. I mean, that's why he got fired from WWE, or let go, or he quit, whatever. So what it comes down to is kind of like hypocrisy. Andrew Tess Martin is not going to make them money. He's not going to give them a ratings boost, whatever the case is. So they're not going to have that liability potential, whatever.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, Kurt Angle moves the needle in whatever department, so they'll deal with it.
Yeah, I kind of think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. And he kind of says that too, so
that's kind of messed up. I mean, if it's one way for this guy, it should be the other way for that other guy, no matter the circumstances or however they benefit your company.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. And while speaking of drug testing, it's actually my last note. It's related to this, and I trimmed this one quite a bit because he goes on like a long rant. But the guys have been told to get ready for drug testing here in TNA. Guys were asked that if they couldn't pass a test in a month, when the first test is likely to happen, to let management know ahead of time. There is some concern as to whether the first test will be used for suspension purposes or just to get levels, and then, like with WWE testing, you have to drop your levels. Because so many people in wrestling have used steroids institutionally, and a lot will show up more than a month. To be fair, if you have drug testing, you have to give people adequate time to get off. So, we will see where that leads us. But I'm sure we'll hear more. That being said, that is all the pre-show notes. I have 3 fairly quick notes for during the show that we will we'll chat about as the time comes.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's get into it, folks. It's the aftermath of No Surrender. It's the September 13th, 2007 edition of TNA Impact. If you want to watch along with us, head over to the TNA Plus app. Or if it's your own personal collection, that's going to do the trick as well. The approximate runtime for our version is 43 minutes and 11 seconds. I'm going to count down from 3, and that is when we are going to watch the show. So here we go. 3, play.
Bob cut out on me, but I heard the play, so we're good to go, baby.
And our recording is a DirecTV subscriber. For the record.
Okay, I was gonna mention that too. Normally we don't see that. So you know what's funny? Okay, since you just mentioned that, as we're seeing highlights, of course. Oh, I have explosion notes. I'll tell you those in a minute. Sometimes when we do our pay-per-view watches and they're not on YouTube, there's a logo in the top right corner, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. But I'm always like, what is that? Is this like a... Is it because we got a weird copy or something? No, I think it's like a Canadian version. It's like the Canadian provider. And I was like, oh, shoot. 2 episodes of Explosion were taped on this taping, and actually, it happened after this episode we're watching now, in between. The first, from Explosion 205, that airs on September 17th, saw Robert Roode defeating Kaz. Pretty interesting. And Explosion 206, that airs on September 24th, 2007. That one features James Storm defeating Sanjay Dutt.
I'm a bit surprised that Explosion got a no surrender rematch.
I think that's what I was thinking the most about. Pretty interesting. We just got almost a straight full recap of No Surrender instead of just like a couple quick highlights. And now we are outside of the Impact Zone earlier today with the Christian Coalition.
It almost makes me wonder why we bother watching pay-per-views.
I mean, they wonder why people aren't buying them. You show them what happened the next day or the next Impact. Okay, Christian is saying he's far from done with Samoa Joe, so it's going to continue that one. What is this? It's upside down. Oh, Matt Morgan. We're going to find out what Matt Morgan's job description entails tonight. It's going to be Christian Cage versus Samoa Joe one more time. At Bound for Glory. And this time there must be a winner. Well, there we go, Bob. That's our first official Bound for Glory match.
That's honestly crazy. We're 5 weeks away, and they're already being like, yep, that's a match.
We got 5 minutes, or 5 weeks away, and we're not even 5 minutes into the show, is what I was going to say. We are 3 minutes. So, pretty wild.
I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, announce it.
I'd rather.
As you want.
I don't like it when we go to the end, and then it's all of a sudden like, hey, we got to do a team meeting and like announce every. I hate that.
Yeah, that's annoying.
This episode that we're watching is quite low on the volume scale. I just turned this up significantly to even hear what's happening. Put our normal Impact intro here. Okay. Abyss looks to gain revenge against Kurt Angle in a rematch. We're good. What?
What are we doing?
In a 6 Sides of Steel match? What?
What?
Okay.
Wow.
Wait. It's submission only, and if Abyss taps out, he leaves TNA. That's what they just said on commentary, Bob. Wow. And here comes Kieran Angle.
Okay. So it's submission only, and if Abyss submits, he's gone forever.
Yeah.
I don't know if Abyss has any submission moves, does he?
No.
Is it for the title?
They said it was a rematch, so I'm going to say yes, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah, rematch. I think it is.
What do you think Dave Meltzer is going to give Karen's dress here?
I was just going to make a joke. I'm going to say, I don't know. I feel like that's not very, like, revealing or anything.
It can be nice. It doesn't need to be revealing. If he gave the other one half a star because of her dress, but he liked the white.
I kind of forgot what she wore.
And the funny thing is, they just showed us, and I didn't even think to look at the dress.
I didn't either. I wasn't sexually objectifying her.
Wow, this was an awful intro to bring out Kurt Angle. She's just like, yeah, Kurt Angle. And then here's his music, and it was not very exciting. Wait, that's Sting!
That's not Kurt Angle.
Dude, he should have came out with the flag over his head. At least the flag.
Absolutely.
Because when they were zoomed out and you
funny.
only saw the shadow, you actually couldn't tell it wasn't him.
Right.
You know, Karen, I don't blame Kurt for what he did at No Surrender. In matter of fact, I would have done the same thing. You cost Kurt and me the World Tag Team titles. I don't want your apology. Because, well, it doesn't mean anything anyway. Don West goes, well, he obviously knows her. Yeah, come clean, Karen Angle. When you hit me, I fell and I hit my head. I couldn't really remember anything.
Here's the thing. Are these people not watching the replays of these shows? I don't understand.
No, dude. You hit me so hard, I fell to the ground.
Sting, play the footage.
I bet you he's about to. Oh, is this Angle right here? Behind the flag?
Yeah. And you hit him with a chair.
Holy shit. I actually didn't think it was going to be Kurt. I thought it was going to be like a fake out. But nope, that was Kurt Angle. Holy shit, he's just beating the crap out of Sting with his chair.
So this storyline right now is that Karen has lied about an assault, which we have video footage of never happening. Kurt Angle's delusional enough to not watch the footage of his wife lying. So now he's going to beat up Sting for not hitting his wife.
Oh my god, he's handcuffing Sting.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe Kurt's mad that Sting didn't do it. It could be the case.
This is crazy. Oh, look at me. You want to embarrass my wife by slapping her in the face? Oh, shoot. So Kurt really still believes this.
He still thinks it happened.
Then slap me, you son of a bitch. Next month at Bound for Glory in Atlanta, Georgia, where I won an Olympic gold medal. That's kind of fun.
That's true.
And you became an icon in WCW.
Oh.
I'm going to embarrass the shit out of you. Okay. Where do I send the $34.95? Dude said 2 sentences. I'm sold on this match already. Tells Karen, I want you to slap the hell out of this piece of garbage. Damn it, Bob, that was so freaking good. I'm already hyped for this now.
I'm coming over and we're splitting the bill.
Yeah, we are. We're getting a Domino's pizza. Maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
Oh, she's backhanding Sting forward and back.
I'll even get the cinnamon treats.
Those are so good. I think Sting just spit on Karen. And he's choking Sting. I'll see you Bound for Glory. And now he spit on Kurt. Oh, he keeps doing it. I feel like I know he's getting beat up and slapped and stuff, but I feel like that's still a very heel thing to do, is like spit on someone.
Yeah.
Especially for Sting, of all people.
Yeah, that's certainly not a babyface thing to do.
But we're nearly...
He is getting beat up, though.
Yeah, right. We're nearly 10 minutes in. Actually, we're about to be right now. And we know 2 very big matches for Bound for Glory already. Pretty good.
Yeah. I would, those are two big high-profile matches. That's a good thing. And I love that they're doing it, and now there's 4 additional weeks of build.
Okay, so they're claiming they're doing this 6 Sides of Steel match to essentially avoid Karen Angle from interfering. And it sounded like Abyss asked for this match to get revenge on Kurt Angle, and Jim Cornette said, well, what's in it for me? He said, I'll put my career on the line.
Well, how's that benefit Cornette?
I don't know. Well, JB's interviewing Abyss. Angle. Tonight. It's not my last match, but your last breath. Click. Doomsday.
So it's awkward to just tell Abyss, hey man, we just booked the main event for Bound for Glory. You can't kill the guy.
I mean, that's a fair point.
We kind of need him there.
Look at this, Bob. Well, coming from the darkest corner of his mind, Black Rain is wrestling here on Impact. His Impact debut.
His Impact match, eh?
Yeah. He's got Misty, the rat, with him. Darkness Falls is that weapon.
Interesting.
He calls it Darkness Falls, and he's got Misty the rat. I kind of like that he's named the little blade. Oh, Jesus Christ. His opponent from the Deep Blue Sea. It's Shark Boy. Cult favorite Shark Boy immediately gets hit. He's not even in the ring yet, technically. Oh, the bell has rung because his top half is. This is our first match here on Impact tonight.
I hope that Black Rain possesses Shark Boy into becoming an evil shark.
Well, that'd be pretty cool. I'm waiting for Shark Boy to hit his head. If you know what I mean.
Oh, shell, yeah, dude. Oh, Diamond Cutter. By Black Rain.
Black Rain lifting up Shark Boy? What's he call that? The schizophrenic. What did he call that before, Bob? The final cut or something?
Final curtain.
Oh, final curtain. Well, he beat him with a schizophrenic. He's got Darkness Falls.
Where's Chris Harris? Guys, save your shark friend. Is this how it happens?
Okay, so I was making a joke, but I actually don't know.
It could. It could be this. It could be that moment right there. Back to his head.
I want to look it up only because I want to know if it is, but I'm not going to.
Don't do it. Don't do it yourself.
I'm not gonna. Well, he just hit the Darkness Falls on the back of Shark Boy's head, and now he's grabbing. Oh my god, he's unmasking Shark Boy.
What the hell?
Oh man, he's putting Misty. Shark Boy has hair? I thought he was bald.
Oh yeah, he has hair. Yeah, we've seen him unmasked before.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can see.
Oh, he was trying to put the mask back on Shark Boy, but Eric Young pulled him out and then put a towel over Shark Boy's head. I forgot we technically did see him unmasked. You're right.
Yep. As a Baldwin brother.
Throwback to the Asylum.
What was the show? Jive Talking?
Oh, Jive Talking. Holy crap. Team Pacman being interviewed by Crystal here backstage. Our new TNA Tag Team Champions here. I really want to dance and jig right now, but I gotta focus. Hotlanta, that's your stomping grounds, right?
Yeah. I know we should be going back to a stomping grounds.
Seeing is believing, right? Oh. He shouts out all his Titan teammates as he counts down to return back to the NFL.
He's got a year.
Pacman's going to chew you up and Ron Killings is going to spit you out. Here you go. Look at this.
Riveting.
100% more TNA. 2-hour premiere, October 4th, 9 p.m. October 4th at 9 p.m. That's our first little
we've had that
video.
We've had that ad before, haven't we?
The 2-hour one. Oh, did they show it on No Surrender?
I think I don't know. I think we've seen it before.
Well, that would only be the only show that would have shown it, so.
Hey, Mr. Answers.
Sorry, I got all the answers here. I just know that, Bob, one day when this podcast is done, I have the TNA board game, the DVD board game, and I would like to play it with you and see how much we remember.
Well, I feel like I played a WWF trivia with you and Austin.
That was bad, and it was a different time. Yeah, it was bad. Me and Austin should have tag teamed against you, probably.
Yeah.
Triple X is coming out here. I don't know if it's just one of them or all three or what. I missed the nameplate, but. Oh, it's Lethal.
Jay Lethal. I have an indie note.
Oh,
those are still a thing for, or I got a couple at least here for Jay Lethal. On September 7th, Jay Lethal defeated The Genius. That's right, The Genius being Randy Savage's brother.
Wow.
At Pro Wrestling Syndicate's Blitzkrieg.
What?
In Garfield, New Jersey.
Oh my God.
And then on September 8th, Jay Lethal competed in a Four Corners match for the Jersey All-Pro New Jersey State Championship, where Grim Reaper, who is the champion, defeated Jay Lethal, Azrael, and Deranged at Jersey All-Pro's Calm Before the Storm in Rahway, New Jersey.
It looks like it's Lethal versus Daniels in the ring, by the way. I'm just going to point out that we went to one Pro Wrestling Syndicate show, and I think about that show all the time. It might be one of my favorite shows we ever went to.
Yeah, the other day I was showing somebody a picture of Kenny Omega diving onto us.
Oh, you still got that?
Yeah, it was a profile picture.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that happened at that show that I think about. I remember waiting in line. Me and Austin were in line to meet Rey Mysterio, and we look over, and New Jack is sitting at a table with one 8x10 in front of him. No one's in line for him. And he just looks like, no, I do not want to go talk to that guy. And I really regret not doing that.
That's funny that he had one 8x10.
One 8x10. Nothing else on the table.
Stack of one, it was just one.
If it was a stack, it was small.
Wow. That's funny.
Daniels has control of the X Division champion going for the cover. Earl Hebner's our ref here, which I feel like we see him sometimes on Impact, but I feel like it's generally rare. I'm surprised he wouldn't be just in the main event tonight or something.
Well, maybe he is. Maybe he'll be doing double duty.
Could be.
Although, isn't Rudy the senior official?
He's technically the senior, but I think Earl by default is also.
Well, just because he's a senior citizen doesn't make him the senior
official. Yeah, but he's senior level official. Here's a random note for you during this match. They're apparently looking into running shows on November 15th and through November 17th in Israel. It is believed that tickets were put on sale before confirmation of all three dates happened to gauge demand, and that if the tour itself is not 100%, that if the tickets don't sell well, the tour may not happen, or it could be moved to one or two shows in a smaller venue.
Death Valley Driver by Daniels 1, 2 Lethal kicks out. I want to know how they know the interest in Israel for TNA wrestling.
I was just going to say that's interesting because this one's saying, hey, we're going to put the shows on sale now and see if there is interest, and then if not, we'll just like cancel it, is a very interesting way to do it. I wonder what made them be like, do you guys want to run some shows in Israel? Like in November?
I'm wondering if they're trying to pick markets that like WWE doesn't go to.
Could be.
Not a bad idea.
Well, because we
what I would do
randomly had
now. I'd be like, oh, all these guys are going to these big cities. I'm going to the freaking middle of nowhere.
Well, it's interesting because a few months back, TNA here in 2007, I'm talking, we had the show in like Portugal, and I was like, that's so interesting. Like, I just wouldn't have guessed they'd be going to Portugal.
Right.
Lethal going off the top of the X handle, but Daniels is able to get out of the way, but comes back, gets hit with an enziguri. Super kick by Lethal, takes out Daniels.
1, 2. Random kind of question here. Since AEW is going, or they're doing smaller venues, which is totally fine with me. I couldn't care any less. What are the odds of AEW at some point running the Pastime Athletic Club here in Syracuse?
Yeah, there's no way they're going that small, but
Maybe they would have done it for Dark.
The BME.
Oh, I thought he was going to beat him. What is this, WrestleMania? We're kicking out of finishers?
I feel like that's not a finisher, though.
He's definitely won with it.
Yeah, but it's more of a signature kind of move than a finisher.
No.
We're getting weird technicalities here, but... Senshi distracted Lethal there. Oh, Lethal combination? Oh, it's countered. Daniels was able to grab the rope. That's because he is a ring veteran.
Is this a title match?
No, I don't think so. He beat the champion, Daniels. Pinned the champion clean.
Okay. Oh my god.
Now, would you say this kind of ruins his vibe after he just beat Kurt Angle?
Okay, so that was a good match. I
enjoyed it was.
But he just beat Kurt Angle a couple of days ago, and now he's losing clean to Daniels. And not to put anything against Daniels, but if we're trying to elevate Lethal,
yeah. But I guess we got to set up a Bound for Glory match somehow.
No, for sure.
I
get it.
Daniels was technically the number one contender, I think, right before Lethal. And then Lethal earned it from beating Daniels. So I see where we're kind of going with this.
No, I get it. But if I'm a Lethal fan and I'm like, yeah, man, just be
wait.
And I'm watching.
Wait, they're announcing Bound for Glory stuff here. Jim Cornette. 10 women in a women's gauntlet match. There's an LAX thing, but I missed exactly what he said. Oh. Someone's going to call Matt Morgan out tonight?
Oh, Joe.
Oh, shit. I know what you're capable of, and I don't want anyone injured. Don't worry about this, boss. I got it. Okay, so we just got 2 more Bound for Glory things.
I think he was saying the knockouts were like 5. It was 5 and 5, like 5 that we know and 5 that we don't know, or something.
Oh. Well, it's interesting he brings that up because I do have a women's note, and I didn't know if we were going to be mentioning anything, but there are plans to expand the women's division once TV goes to 2 hours, so very convenient timing. There is talk of bringing in new women's wrestlers, although nobody in specific. ODB has been talked about, as has CMLL's Sarah Stock, or otherwise known as the Dark Angel, although a holdup on her could be transportation costs if she stays in Mexico City. Oh, We were wrong, Bob, because it looks like Christian Cage is
Christian.
calling out Matt Morgan. That's right.
I thought you said Samoa Joe.
Because he had his name on that little note in the beginning of the show.
Oh, right.
It's a Christian coalition. I'm sure Samoa Joe's going to come out, and I hope he does, because my final note of the show is about Samoa Joe, but I will hold out until I see him.
We're going to get a Matt Morgan Samoa Joe against the Christian Coalition.
Oh, you think he's going to team up with Matt Morgan and not go against him?
Like on Impact, though. I don't think it's Bound for Glory. But
okay. He can't and never will be able to beat me. Now, that's very important. Christian has still never been pinned or submitted here in TNA. He flew off the handle, got intentionally disqualified. Takes a t-shirt, wraps it around my gorgeous neck. Now this brings me to you. I know Jim Cornette is your boss, but let me let you in on something. I am the one that runs this show. You see the marquee attraction thrown over the ropes and hung. Oh, you make sure that it never happens. So he's mad because Matt Morgan did not stop Samoa Joe from attacking him.
not quick enough, at least.
We don't care how big you are. There's 3 of us, 1 of you. Morgan takes off his jacket, rips off his shirt. And there he is, Samoa
There's
Joe. Goes right after Christian Cage. But they're on the back of
His
Samoa
fists
Joe.
are taped, by the way.
Good call, yeah. AJ tossed to the floor. Tomko tossed to the floor. Do we have the new Dream Team? Matt Morgan, Samoa Joe?
Oh my god, don't talk like that.
Well, speaking of Samoa Joe here, Bob, Samoa Joe still has significant time left on his contract, like a year or so. So his constant turning down signing extensions of late doesn't mean he's leaving anytime soon. He's just keeping his options open into the next year.
Right, so he wouldn't be free to go until 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, so Morgan's a special enforcer now for Bound for Glory?
Oh.
Between Joe and Cage?
And he says, you can't just make those rules and stuff. And Cornette, over the announcement, said, yeah, I can. Okay. Cornette confirmed because he doesn't want Christian to get away with any of his shenanigans. And speaking of Samoans... Oh. His opponent for next week, Samoan Challenge. Who's it going to be?
What the fuck, Dallas?
You're telling me
You never said anything about this guy.
I didn't know about him. I didn't know they were bringing in Make a Difference Fatu.
Oh my god. What the
Quiche.
fuck?
His thing says it's Rikishi. For everyone listening, not watching along. His jacket says Quiche. They called him Junior Fatu. Apparently that's his Christian's opponent next week. We just got a new debut. We did not expect. They did not list him when they were talking about big signings for the 2-hour show.
No.
And why would they?
They did not. It's almost to suggest that Rikishi's not a big star.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I just don't know if I'm a fan. I'm going to be honest.
Here's the thing. I liked him as Fatu, like in the Head Shrinkers. Like, he was good.
Yeah, we're unfortunately too far removed from that.
Well, yeah, but once he did the whole "I did it" for The Rock.
I did that for The Rock.
Lost interest.
Well, we're heading toward our main event here. I have no more notes, and it's Abyss versus Kurt Angle again.
Oh,
So
I have one note here for Abyss, and it's on that same Pro Wrestling Syndicate show, Blitzkrieg, on September 7th. Abyss wrestled Steve Mack, and he lost by disqualification. Steve Mack being, of course, Monster Mack of the Hit Squad.
I know the name, but I cannot picture him.
I don't know if you've ever seen him.
I definitely know his name.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of it, but I don't know about. I don't think he was ever in TNA. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe he was. I didn't click on his name to find out.
Abyss is looking. He threw a bag of, I'm assuming, tacks or glass into the ring. A chair now. He's loading this up as if this is Lethal Lockdown, and as we know, Lethal Lockdown does not start until all members are in the ring and the top comes down.
Right.
Well, we were at 31 minutes and 25 seconds, in case you're following along with us. So we have roughly 10 minutes left of the show.
If Abyss submits, his career is over. This is not a title match.
No, I guess it's not. Also, look at this. Unless he's holding them both in one hand, he only has one title with him. Does he still have the IWGP title?
When would he have lost it?
Well, that's what I was just trying to think. But why doesn't he have it with him? I'm doing some research. Oh, we're going to a commercial break, and we're coming back.
Bound for Glory ad.
Adam Pacman Jones.
Suspended NFL superstar.
Well, no, he still has it. I don't know. I guess I don't know if he technically had it at No Surrender either, to be fair. Wow, he keeps that title. Did. He did? He had the IWGP one with him?
I thought so. Oh, well, Kurt is remaining focused on the same ankle and leg that he attacked at No Surrender. So, continuity, I guess, is good.
You think we're going to see the end of Abyss here, dude?
No. He ain't tapping. He's not giving up. This is a submission.
So you think
match.
Kurt Angle's going to give up?
No.
What? You got to pick one.
I don't think anything is going to... I don't think anybody wins this. How do you possibly book a winner for this?
Why are they doing a cage match?
I don't know.
This is our second cage match that I can remember from this year that was outside of lockdown.
Well, we have the Doomsday, and then we have this one. Is there any other one? I don't know.
I think those are the two I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Oh, Kurt Angle's bleeding.
Busted open. This is, yeah, I mean, I don't know how, if you have Kurt submit, maybe Kurt would submit just because Abyss beats the shit out of him so much. I mean, you could technically give up that way.
Yeah, but, like, I guess for what, though? Like, what's the point of that?
Because he's the monster Abyss, and he really should be able to torture somebody into submitting.
I don't disagree with that.
But in the same breath, Kurt Angle making Abyss submit and then ending his career on an Impact after a pay-per-view makes no sense to me.
It arguably makes less sense.
Yeah. Here's a Boston Crab by Abyss. This might be the first time I've seen him with a submission hold.
Now, okay. Abyss at the end of literally a show that happened 4 days ago was sucked to hell under the ring. And now he just comes on Impact and he's having a cage match. Isn't that a little weird?
No, that's fine. I mean, we haven't even really addressed that. I mean, Abyss hasn't even talked about it.
That's my issue.
Yeah, it's fine, dude. Just you forget things. You know, like when something traumatic happens, you just that didn't happen.
And maybe Abyss should be like acting weird. Oh god, a ref bump in the cage. Jesus Christ.
Well, you're acting as if maybe he should be afraid of the ring. Like, am I gonna get pulled underneath the ring again?
No, not that.
That could happen. But I mean, I think I would tell him to do that.
Well, there's just a low blow. Abyss just got low blowed after the referee was knocked out, which is if it matters. We're in a cage, but
and Kurt's trying to escape. I mean, that's not the rules of the match. It's submission only, Kurt.
Yeah, well, you know what Kurt Angle likes to do when he gets on top of cages.
Fall off.
Oh, yeah, fall off backwards. But Abyss was able to stop him. He's palming him in the face, but he's able to catch up to him here. And Kurt trying to stop the Monster Abyss. Abyss suplexes Kurt from the top.
Commercial break.
Kurt Angle, 6 heads of steel, coming up next after the commercial. And we are back. Kurt Angle, Irish hook, jumps up to the top. Moonsault off the top rope, takes down the Monster Abyss.
And we're back.
Rudy Charles is up, so there's kind of no reason why he fell down, but that's okay.
That's all right.
But this moonsault. Kurt ran up the ropes and just moonsaulted onto Abyss. That's right. Same day, same time, but it's an extra hour of show. I'm mostly excited about that because I don't have to change our release schedule.
Oh.
And our episodes will also release still on the same day.
That's good.
I'm
glad that it's convenient for you.
I'll be honest, sometimes it is in fact not convenient for me. Because one time I forgot to release an episode because there was an issue. You know what that issue was, Bob?
What?
I forgot to hit publish. But you know, some things happen.
I forgot to hit publish. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, it was a weird one. I don't know what was going on. But it's okay. It happened. The chair got into play here, was punched into the face of Kurt Angle, who went to hit Abyss with it. Kurt breaking the chokehold. Now they're trading punches. I'm getting nervous that Abyss is going to submit after all these punches.
No. Abyss is a monster, dude. The monster Abyss.
Pop up. Triangle lands on the mat.
I'm trying to picture a situation where Abyss submits.
Oh my god. The shock treatment to Kurt Angle. Nope. Counters. Rolls through. And well, guess what? You might see it now because the ankle lock is locked in.
With the boot on.
With the boot on. He also is standing.
Yeah,
it's cinched in.
You know it's not legit.
Oh, Abyss. Rolls through, able to counter. Kurt lands his face onto the middle turnbuckle. Wait. Abyss. His famous submission move. The ankle lock is locked in on Kurt Angle now. Oh my god. What is that?
Dude. I told you should have been acting scared of the ring. Fucking Junior Fatu is underneath the ring now.
The ring is smoking and there are arms coming out. Oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Judas, Mesias, blood gushing out of his mouth.
What do you do? Is bite his tongue? Oh no.
Oh my god. His son, Judas Mesias, he's got barbed wire around the throat of Abyss. The ring is smoking as well. Kurt Angle's leaving.
Kurt's not dealing with this. Kurt's not dealing with this.
This is our first time live in the Impact Zone seeing Judas Mesias.
I don't know. The crowd doesn't seem like they like this.
No, I don't know if they do. Look at the white eyes.
Dead eyes. These colored contacts make him look like he's got dead eyes.
Chair shot.
Woof. Chair shot.
Now, I'd say the match is officially no contest. I mean, Kurt ran away.
Well, that's not true because Abyss could submit.
Yeah, but it's not to his opponent. Another chair shot to the head.
Well, that's fine.
Crowd is not reacting good to this.
No.
Oh, he hit like a
leaping flatliner.
Yeah, like a big one.
Like a big one.
He jumped up.
Like a big one.
No,
what's in there? Is it gonna be gummy bears? Oh no.
No, it's glass.
It's glass.
Now, as this is happening, Bob, I know 1,000%. I watched this live.
Oh, you did?
I don't remember a damn thing. But I remember him coming up from the ring and seeing the eyes and stuff. Did he just lick the glass after he cut Abyss's arm with it?
Yeah, he did. And now he's cutting his arm again.
Oh, God.
I hate this.
That was gross. They're saying the revenge is now complete by James Mitchell. Okay, he actually just sliced Abyss's arm all the way down.
Yeah.
They just showed it. It's the same path at length that he just got. He literally he sliced his arm. He's kind of got a cool song. Oh, it's creepy.
I was hoping it was going to be the new church song.
That would have been freaking sick. I was just thinking how much it'd be so cool to have, like, the new church.
Yeah.
I would just call them the new church, though, but...
The newest of new church.
Crash Anthem, biggest letdown song to finish us off here. Bob, what'd you think of that first episode, post No Surrender?
I mean, it's a good episode. They set up a lot for Bound for Glory.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, you could argue some of the booking is a little weird. Like, the Lethal thing, I get it. You're clearly setting up Daniels to be the challenger for Bound for Glory. That's fine, I guess. It just feels like you wanted maybe to ride that momentum of him beating Kurt better than having him lose to Daniels, because it kind of goes with what Meltzer's saying. Something like that would just arguably make Lethal just another guy again. And so he doesn't really elevate.
That's a good point. No, you're right. I like this episode too. I thought that was a pretty solid episode. Like you said already, they set up a lot. There's stuff to look forward to. Even that Sting Kurt Angle interaction I thought was really good. Judas Mesias is here. I don't know. I'm pretty happy about that. I feel like post pay-per-view shows are usually a pretty solid episode.
Yeah, well, right. And then and like we all know, I mean, Bound for Glory is TNA's WrestleMania. So as it stands right now, and like we talked about before the show, what we have confirmed is Angle and Sting for the TNA World Title. Mm-hmm. Joe and Cage. And then I would assume Lethal Daniels.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of assuming as well.
X title. Pacman and Killings against AJ and Tomko, I'm assuming. Number one contenders.
Yeah.
And then Abyss against Judas. I mean, that's kind of, aside from the tag team title one because of the Pacman thing, but that's like the spectacle of it. Like that, maybe, whatever. But that's really that's an intriguing lineup for Bound for Glory, and we still have 4 weeks to go.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. And 2 of those weeks, Bob, we get an extra hour. So there's a lot of time to fill. So I'm really looking forward to this build as we get closer to Bound for Glory, the biggest show of the year.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right. Well, next week, for what we know, is that as I'm trying to get back to my page here, I'm pretty sure that it was announced for, as I'm dragging out my words to get, there we go. Junior Fatu is in fact going to be making his in-ring debut.
That's right.
Taking on Christian Cage. So if you're a fan of like 2002 WWE or 2003, that will probably be nostalgic for you. But that's going to be the I'm assuming probably the featured match for next week's Impact.
Well, also, Bob, just for I'm going back to that Jim Cornette segment. I just want to be sure of what we heard for the announcement, because he mentions the LAX thing. Oh, 15-man fight for the right reverse battle royal. I didn't hear this. 4 men. Okay, so 4 men who get to the end will fight for a right for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, or a shot for is what I should say. Oh, okay. So we missed a lot while we were talking. Ultimate X between LAX and Triple X.
This is for Bound for Glory?
Yeah, this is what he said, and then he says the knockouts thing.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure this is all Bound for Glory. Yeah, more to come in Bound for Glory, so. Yeah, so that's some, I mean, that's a lot, dude.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow. We got a lot to look forward to.
Holy shit, they're loading it up for Bound for Glory.
I don't know if I've ever been excited so fast for the pay-per-view.
I mean, yeah. What in the world? That's crazy. That's a lot. That's not all right. Well,
I can't wait to see you next week.
Yeah, we'll continue on with Junior Fatu's debut next week. So be sure to join us for that. So until then, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr. And this has been the TNA Cross the Line podcast.